Welcome, everybody. Good morning. You are at the APTAT monthly webinar. We're going to cover community funding. But before I go ahead and officially get started, Yancy is going to go ahead and do a brief introduction for us for those that are interested in using our interpretation services.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jancy Rosario Dabacoa. My co-interpreter, Darren, and I will be providing simultaneous interpretation in English and Spanish to ensure language justice so that this session may be accessible to all. Please, everyone, be sure to select your language of preference, English speakers included, once the interpretation feature is turned on by pressing the small globe icon on the bottom of the screen and choosing either the English or Spanish channel. If you're on a phone, to access interpretation, please select the three dots at the bottom of the screen that say More, select Language and your channel preference and click Done. Thank you and good luck. Buenos días a todos, soy Yancy Rosario de Abacoa. Mi cointérprete Darren y yo estaremos ofreciendo interpretación simultánea del inglés al español para asegurar que haya justicia del lenguaje y que esta sesión sea accesible para todas las personas presentes. De estar en una computadora, por favor recuerden seleccionar su lengua preferida. Tan pronto enciendan el modo de interpretación presionando el botón con símbolo de globo en la parte inferior de la pantalla y escogiendo el canal de inglés o el de español. Si está utilizando un celular o un dispositivo móvil, seleccione los tres puntitos en la parte inferior de la pantalla que dicen más, seleccione el lenguaje o interpretación de idioma, su lengua de preferencia y seleccione Hecho. De querer hablar en español o tener cualquier duda o pregunta en cuanto a la interpretación, avísenos por escrito para poder cambiar al canal de inglés e interpretar su turno o atender su necesidad. Gracias y mucho éxito.
All right, thank you. We are rocking and rolling today, gang. I'm so excited. This was actually a really fun webinar to build up. So welcome again, everyone, to our monthly webinar. It is May already. Can you believe it? Today, we're going to be talking about community funding. And I have put in the chat the slides a couple different times, and we'll make sure we get those up again. But to follow along, and you're going to want to make sure you get a copy of these, it is a bit.ly link. So it's going to be bit.ly, and then it's going to be slash, and then 4 capital M, 5 capital Y, and then lowercase UX. Unfortunately, I was unable to make a custom bit.ly link this time around. So it's 4 capital M, 5 capital Y, lowercase UX. Welcome, of course, as always. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat throughout the session. We will make sure that we have time at the end for participants to jump on the microphone for those questions if you prefer to use your voice instead of typing questions in the chat. And then also, this session will be recorded and available through our YouTube channel, and you can follow us and all our other videos at youtube.com/the@APTAT. All right. I'm going to have to move this slide later on for our next one to earlier in the slides. But for those just joining us, we do have captions and language translation available. Live captioning is through Zoom today. So you will just look for that CC button in your Zoom toolbar. If you don't see it, you might need to click the More button over to the far right, and then you'll see the option for captions. And as we mentioned before, we do have Spanish language translation available. So please locate that the interpretation button at the toolbar, again, looking for your preferred language. And we want to say thank you to the Alabama Council on Developmental Disabilities for providing our Spanish language translation services for this webinar. We were so thrilled when they were able to provide us this opportunity, and we are grateful to have our interpreters today. Okay, so for those unfamiliar, we are accessing potential through assistive technology, and we are the Alabama Assistive Technology Act program. I think my slides got mixed up. There we go. So our job really is to increase knowledge, access, and acquisition of assistive technology throughout the state of Alabama. We do that through several different programs, and a few that we'll actually be going over a little bit more in depth at the end of today's session, but that includes our short-term device loan program, our reutilization program or reuse centers. We provide trainings just like this one today, technical assistance, as well as resources for financial assistance, hence today's conversation as well. Oh, there we go. One of the biggest questions that we get is who is APTAT for in terms of all these wonderful programs we provide? And really, we are here for everyone in Alabama. So that includes individuals with disabilities, their parents or their caregivers, service providers, companies or organizations that are interested in assistive technology to benefit their employees or their customers. So really anyone and everyone in Alabama. We are housed under Alabama Department of Rehab Services. However, you don't have to be a consumer. You do not have to be enrolled under that program to receive our services. So it's, we're part of their building and office, but you do not have to be enrolled to work with us directly. Okay. So before we go into our webinar today, I just wanted to give you a heads up about our 4-part webinar series that we did this spring, looking at AT funding opportunities in Alabama. This included several speakers from different Alabama agencies and organizations, and I really do highly recommend that you check it out to learn more about those funding options through your state. If you click on that link that's in the slides, it will take you to a YouTube playlist. So we had a series of 4 videos, and you can just watch all of those and get some great information. Sip of water here. Excuse me. Okay. So for today's agenda, we will be reviewing several different types of grants and funding assistance programs that are available. I tried to cover a good variety based on age and population or type of assistance that they provided or their focus. But we're going to start with some Alabama-based programs first. So these are that they are either based in Alabama or they specifically target people in Alabama. Next, I'm going to review some national opportunities, and most of these will require residency within the U.S. And then also, I have some additional resources, either links from additional organizations that have their own lists of grants and funding opportunities, as well as some other recommendations of avenues for funding opportunities. And then lastly, just a brief reminder of some of the ways that we at APTAT can assist you in your funding journey. Okay. So I just wanted to have a quick disclaimer and talk about how I'm going to be doing today's session. So the plan is I'm going to provide you a list of grants and funding opportunities that are currently available, or at least as of the time of my research, which was, the past couple of weeks. I'm going to give you the list of, or I'm going to name the program. You'll see their website information, and I'll talk a little bit about what their focus is or the type of assistance they provide. So just a little disclaimer. I try to provide as much updated information as possible. However, please go directly to any of the sites if you are particularly interested in them. You're going to want to contact them directly to make sure everything is up to date on their site regarding their application process and availability. I did not list any timelines or deadlines. Some do have like a quarterly or a twice a year, things like that. But definitely make sure that that's something that you go to the website yourself and update yourself on. Also, for most of these, I did not list how they are funded or if they are a program under a specific company or organization. So if that is of particular concern to you, again, I tried to give you a good active link that should take you to that information if you need to research more in depth. All right, I hope you're all excited. I am. Let me give you the link one more time to the slide so that way you can follow along. And also, as I'm going over some of these, there's going to be an opportunity where I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to cue you at the end. But if you think of any other opportunities or organizations people need to check out, feel free to put them in the chat. What I'm going to do is update this slide deck with any other additional recommendations that you have. And then that way they'll all be in that one document. Okay, so we're going to start with Alabama. And like I said, these are organizations that are either based here or they may or they may specifically target Alabama residents. Okay, so our first one is the Hank Poor Foundation. Excuse me. And the link to the website is there. For those unfamiliar, Hank Poor actually does some work with us as well here at APTAT. He's one of our program assistants. But the Hank Poor Foundation is to provide opportunities and experiences for people with disabilities, which foster authentic connections between individuals, groups, and communities. So they are really about making sure that people are able to be active and engaged in their community, having those opportunities to, kind of explore the world around them and be fully engaged in those moments. So those that can apply, it goes for everyone in Alabama, anyone in Alabama. And the examples that that they provided in their website and that I've talked with their board is, covering the cost of a beach wheelchair rental. So if you're somebody who wants to go visit the beach, there's these wonderful beach chair wheelchairs, but you may not want to buy one because if you only go to the beach once a year or maybe once every 5 years like me, buying that wheelchair may not really be beneficial. But if I could rent it, but that could still be a couple $100s where if I've got a tight budget for my vacation already, that makes it a little tougher to then make that rental purchase. So that's definitely something. I know that's one of their favorite things to do is for people to have those extra special activities that they can do when they're on vacations and being able to do those things with their families. I know they also do a lot of purchasing of adaptive sports equipment, or like track wheelchairs or adapted trikes, things like that. So definitely check them out. I think they do a just kind of continual calendar. I don't think they were like a quarterly or anything like that. Our next one is Libby's Friends. And what's fun about Libby's Friends is they really do aim to ease financial burden of supporting a loved one with a disability and try to help cover those financial gaps that are caused by insurance, right? So sometimes insurance says it can pay for things, but maybe it's not paying for everything. Or maybe it's not paying for additional features. Maybe you're trying to buy a particular type of device and maybe insurance will pay most of it, but maybe they see this other accessory or additional part to that device. Maybe they feel that's not necessary. So that's something that Libby's Friends can definitely help out with. I will say anyone in Alabama can apply. I know a lot of people when they look on the website because it was started by this family because of their daughter and they see lots of children on the website and things like that. But they do cover anyone in Alabama. There's no age limitation or anything regarding eligibility that way. So definitely check them out. Our next one is the Individual and Family Support Services. Now, this one is interesting. They're actually under a program with Department of Mental Health. So they get some funding through national funding. And like I said, they're kind of under Department of Health, but you don't, again, have to necessarily be receiving services from them. Now, their job is to help enhance the lives of Alabamians with disabilities and their families. Now, they are a little bit more stringent in their eligibility just because of their funding system, et cetera. So They are looking for individuals with a developmental disability that is present before their 22nd birthday, or if family members are supporting that individual with developmental disability that was present before their 22nd birthday as well. There might be some additional eligibility requirements, and again, that's where you're going to want to go do some research through their website. So some of the financial assistance that they've provided, of course, is to purchase assistive technology and equipment, as well as maybe some additional therapy services or personal care assistance. Now, the information that I've provided you, I actually provided you a website and a email address. Your contact is actually going to be based on the region you are located in. And so if you click on that website, it's actually taking you to their region 3, I believe. So it may not be the right region for you. And I think if you click on that website, they may have a person to contact to find out who your regional person is. But also I've got down here at the bottom of the slide an email address, and that is for the Jefferson County regional area person, and they are more than happy to help guide you and get you in touch with the right person. So definitely check out the website. But like I said, if it's not your region, don't worry. Please feel free to email that email address that we have on the slide for you to find out who your person is. And also, just to briefly plug again our funding series, we actually, for our 4th video, we talked about some of these resources. We actually talked about the first 3 that I reviewed here. So if you want to hear directly from those board of directors and people running those programs, definitely check out our funding series. I believe it's video 4. All right, this was a fun one, and I had recently come across in my research. This is the Outdoor Ability Foundation, and they are based in Gardendale, Alabama, and their mission is to empower disabled children ages 8 to 19 by providing grants to purchase adaptive equipment. They are very interested in children who have a passion for the outdoors, so a lot of nature, hunting, adaptive fishing equipment that they are looking to fund. And actually, their website, they have quite a few examples of different types of adaptive equipment that's available. So they have like a crossbow cocking device, so to help load that crossbow. I didn't even know there was such a thing as portable hunting blinds, but now I do. And then a variety of adaptive fishing equipment is just a couple of the examples that they had available for you to see on their website. So next for this one, these are a few national organizations or programs that do provide more direct information about state or local programs. So because a lot of these either had or they had multiple things available, I just wanted to give you the links directly. So the first one is for the ALS Association of Alabama. And they have a variety of assistance programs, including helping to procure assistive technology for their members. The next one is the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation, and they have several regional organizations throughout the state. I think it was about 4 or 5. So if you click on that link, it will actually show you those different regional areas, and then that way you can get into direct contact with those people. And then the last one is called I Can Connect. And this is a national program that assists low-income individuals who are deafblind to have access to various communication methods and informational services. And so the Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind facilitates the application process for Alabama residents. So I believe when you click on that link, it will actually take you to that page where it starts to tell you how to get in contact with IADB and the steps you need to take for that process. Okay, next, we're on a roll now. So now we're talking about national opportunities. So again, just going to be a very brief overview of these programs. And I will note many of these, even including some of the ones that I mentioned earlier, may request information regarding household income and or proof of disability or need. I didn't go into the specifics for each of these just because it can get a little lengthy. And I really just wanted to kind of give you the jump start so you could move forward and explore all of these. Okay, our first one is Wheelchair for Kids. And they have a program called Let's Roll, which provides wheelchairs and home modifications, as well as other therapeutic equipment to children who have limited mobility due to illness, accident, or abuse. So how you apply is anyone can nominate a child under the age of 21 and who has a medical team member who can verify that medical condition and mobility needs. So, they want a little extra information. Some of the examples that they have: wheelchairs, vehicle modifications, home modifications, and equipment such as Hoyer lifts or gait trainers. So that's just a little bit of what they provide. Next one is called Help a Little One Foundation, or HALO. If you just type in HALO Foundation, there are several other organizations that work off of that name. So please make sure you use this link, or when you're doing your search, you want to put the Help a Little One Foundation to make sure you get to the right HALO Foundation. And so they are dedicated to enhancing the quality of life of children with neurological diseases by providing tangible items and supporting programs which increase physical comfort, facilitate social interaction, and build acceptance in the greater community. Now, who can apply? These are grants for children with neurological disease. However, they do note on their application forms that they are excluding autism from that list, as they feel that there are other resources to help support those with autism. And I actually have a list later on, or a resource later on that will go over that as well. Some of the examples that they provided were like wheelchair lifts. They were talking about like enrichment programs. So like if they're doing any kind of, oh, my brain just blanked. It's gone now, but sorry. But just programs that will help bring greater community, having those opportunities for social interaction within different places. So that could be a school, that could be a care facility, things like that. Okay. Next, we're going to look at the Melvin Weinstein Parkinson's Foundation. So I did try to make sure I wasn't covering just the little ones. I wanted to make sure we were getting some adults in here too. So Melvin Weinstein Parkinson's Foundation. And I loved and I had to quote it because it was just one of those things when I was looking at their website. They said, "Our mission," and they just said, "We purchase equipment and supplies to maintain a safe and healthy environment for Parkinson's patients." And I was like, you can't get more simple than that. Love it. Nice and direct. So who can apply is anyone diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And some of the examples that they listed were, purchasing things like a stair lift for someone's home, or covering medical costs, or cost of prescriptions. So they really are just, what can we do to help improve your life? This next one is called Friends of Man, and they are a Colorado-based charity. So if you do go to apply, there's actually 2 applications that you'll see on their website. Just make sure you select the non-Colorado resident. But they are here to provide assistance to people of all ages who have genuine needs but can't find help elsewhere, who fall through the cracks of available charitable or governmental resources, to provide help to maintain self-sufficiency in times of difficulty, as well as assisting with disability and medical needs. And the reason why I put that whole thing in there is because when I was trying to find, like what their interest was, they really kind of seem to cover it all. So I will say, when you apply, it is not you as the individual that would apply. So it would actually be somebody who is working with you that would apply. It can't be a friend or family member or a vendor. It would have to be some type of professional, medical staff, maybe like a case manager, possibly. They actually have to be the ones to start that process for you. And just some of the examples that they listed in their website was wheelchairs, prosthesis, and medical equipment. Fun fact about this one, they tout themselves as the 100% charity. So they are completely volunteer run. So any of their donations go directly to those grants that they are funding. So they're not really taking any of that money for overhead. So it was just kind of interesting when I was looking on their website. Next one is Go Hawkeye. And Go Hawkeye looks to provide support to adaptive organizations and individuals through financial aid, outdoor experiences, and filmmaking meant to inspire people of all abilities. So really, they are they're coming at this from that they like to make these films about people overcoming their disabilities and reaching their goals. But that is separate from their grants that they provide. So their grants, they have actually a couple different ones that you can do. One is for adaptive sporting equipment. So if you just are looking for, equipment such as like a track chair or, trike or, adaptive skis, something like that. They have a grant for that, but then they also have a grant for adapted sport experiences or camps. So if you want to go to, they had actually listed one, I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, but it was Wheels something. Oh, it's gone now. But there was a specific camp that is designed for people with disabilities to be able to explore all the wonders of nature and all the different activities that they have there. So camps they love to do, but also if you just have your own individual adapted sport experience you want to do, they can help fund you that as well. Examples included tandem bike, adaptive fishing equipment, and then of course a ski trip. Okay. So this last one that I mentioned here for national is the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. And I just gave you their main link for their Get Help page. They actually have several different assistance programs that are available for individuals with MS and their families. Their different programs included just directly funding for assistive technology. They have a computer program, as well as a transportation assistance program. And I think there were a couple other smaller ones in there as well. So definitely want to check out if you or a family member have MS and are looking for some assistance. Okay. So I have just a very long list of other ones that I wasn't sure if I was going to get time to talk about all of them. So I'm just going to, show you all of these. You'll have access to them through the slides. I will note a few of these. So the Joseph Grohl Foundation, it's the fourth one down. That is actually for people who are disabled and either currently work in construction or maybe previously worked in construction. So they're really looking at a very targeted population there. The Tyler Skrenk Foundation. This one was really interesting. They have a program where when you apply, it will, you have two kind of tracks is what they called it. So they had track 1 and track 2. And track 1 is, you need some type of assistive technology. You're not exactly sure what you need. You're probably going to need a lot more support and assistance in like maybe training and implementation. So they have that track. So whatever, and I believe it's like $1,000 is for either track or 1,500. So whatever grant money you are awarded, in addition to that money being spent on the assistive technology, it would also be spent to pay for that additional support you're receiving. They also have a track 2, which is if you know what you're looking for, you're not really going to need a lot of additional assistance in implementation and setup, then you would just get that money really just to fund the assistive technology purchase. Hunter's Hope. So this one was an organization that had its own assistance program, but it was a little hard for me to navigate the difference between that one and Morgan's Legacy Gift. And Morgan's Legacy Gift was from a previous organization that had doing community grants, but they essentially turned, they said, we don't need to be an organization anymore. We've done what we came to do. We have all this money from, you know, the endowment, the legacy gift. So they essentially gave it to Hunter's Hope to manage for them. And so when you click on that link, it should take you to Morgan's Legacy Gift. So just if it's throwing you off a little bit, that's what's going on there. Gridiron Heroes is another one that's a little bit more specific in who it's assisting. This is for high school students or people who have acquired a spinal injury due to high school football. So it's a very specific organization, but it looks like they do some fun stuff there. This last one is called Laughing at My Nightmare. This was a last minute addition. I haven't had a chance to fully check them out, but it looks like they actually have a variety of different programs that you can look for assistance. So they have, you know, just kind of a grant for just assistive tech, but also it looked like they had grants or scholarships for college as well. So definitely want you guys to check that one out as well. Okay, so I just want to take a moment and see if there are any that we forgot. Please feel free to drop them in the chat. And like I said, I will add those to the webinar or add them to the slide deck after the webinar. So I will just sit for a moment here and I will go on to my next slide. Okay. So I provided you a couple other resources here. And please feel free to drop in those, even if you think, I don't even know if this is still current anymore, drop it in the chat and we'll do a little research for you. No worries. So I wanted to provide a couple other links for you, just to let you continue on your fun investigation of all the different resources out there. This first one is from ATIA. And this is an article that provides a very long list of different grants and charities, but they also talk about other opportunities as like looking at your local Kiwanis Club or your Lions Club, how to maybe look at starting a GoFundMe or places that provide mini grants. I will note, however, that this article was dated in 2017. So what I was running into is some of the links, those grants were either no longer taking applications or those organizations may no longer be operational any longer. So just word of warning on some of those that you're might have to dig through a little bit to find what's still active. And then this last one is from Autism Speaks, and this is just a site that lists several different organizations that also provide different types of funding assistance and opportunities. So some of them, it's just taking you to the organization where it talks about, you know, what that organization does, and then you get more information once you go to that site. And then some, they do have some direct links to grants that you can apply for. Okay. And then our last little section that I want us to go over today, of course, is how we at APTAT can help you out as well. So in addition to providing you this very fun list of websites for you to peruse at your leisure later, we are hoping that we can help you with your funding process in a couple of additional ways. So of course, we have our reutilization program, or our 5 reuse centers that are scattered throughout the state. And for those that are unfamiliar, these are places that house donated durable medical equipment that can be picked up free of charge by anyone in the state. If you click on that link, it will actually take you to a PDF where it shows all of their locations and their contact information. You'll want to contact the centers directly to see if they have the items you are looking for. Some of them do have inventories on our al.atforall.com website, and we'll go over that here in a quick second. But a lot of times they aren't able to update that inventory as frequently just because they get a lot of turnover. So if you want their most up-to-date what's available, you're going to want to contact them directly or visit their locations. And this can include everything from, you know, bathroom chairs or grab bars, rollators, beds, whatever you might be looking for. Sometimes, like I said, it just kind of depends on what gets donated that week. So you may want to call them and just see if they have what you're looking for. What's really nice about that reuse program is there's no out of pocket for you except maybe a little bit of gas money if you're having to drive out over to pick it up. You don't have to pay anything to pick it up. You use it as long as you need it. And then maybe if you're done with it and you don't need it anymore, you can give it back to that donation center. And also, as you're listening to this, you're like, well, I have stuff I don't need anymore. That could be potentially useful equipment for other people to use. Please go ahead and contact your one of those reuse centers and discuss with them about doing a delivery and donating some of those items. Our next way that we like to help is our short-term loan program. So while we can't give you these devices to hold on to forever, we do have a unique ability to let you try out a variety of different types of assistive technology before you or maybe whoever is assisting you in a grant is putting any money down, so to speak, right? So we have a program where you can try our devices for up to 30 days for free. So if you are working with a grant or even your insurance company, a lot of times will want proof that this is the right device, that you've tried it out, that yes, this is going to be the effective tool that you need it to be. For some people, that's hard to do because, well, if I had it, then I wouldn't need you to buy it, insurance person or grant committee. But you can try it out from us. And then that way you can say, yes, we tried it out. This is perfect. This is exactly what I need it to be. Please help me get this purchased. So that's one of the big benefits to having this loan program. Also, what's nice about our loan program is, let's say you have been approved for your device to get funded, but it's not here yet, right? So now you're waiting around for it to show up. Well, we can potentially provide you with a temporary device while you wait for that replacement to arrive or for your new device to arrive. And then, of course, lastly, information and assistance. We would always love to be your contact with any questions about different types of assistive technology that are out there, or if you have questions about how to potentially get it funded. And of course, the best place or way to get a hold of us is our email address, and that is aptat@rehab.alabama.gov. All right, I'm going to stop for a moment, see if we have any questions, see if there's any additional slide or organizations that people would like for us to include in the slides. Like I said, please don't be shy. Even if you don't have the website name, maybe you just know of a organization. And if you've got a name, you can drop that in the chat as well, and we'll make sure to include that information. All right. Well, while we wait for additional questions, I'm just going to throw well, thank you very much, Harmony. Like I said, this was a really fun one for me to kind of dive and find this information. So I'm glad you're finding it useful. All right, I'm going to put our feedback survey in the chat. If you have a moment, we really do appreciate you taking just a few minutes to fill out that survey form. That's helpful for us in our reporting and to make sure that we are able to obtain our grant funding year after year to do all this wonderful programming. So please, if you don't mind, just taking a minute or two to fill out that feedback survey. It really does help us out. And also, if there are items that you would like to see in the library, there's a place for you to put that in there. Or if there's topics that you would like us to talk about during these monthly webinars, please put that in there as well. All right. Next, we have our June webinar. This one's going to be really fun because you won't listen to actually me talk at all. So it's going to be a whole new person. So, woohoo. It's always fun to change things up. So in June, on June 25th, we are going to be having Mercy Wolverton as our guest presenter. And she's going to be talking about 3D printing. If you had a chance to attend our AT Alabama conference last summer, she did a phenomenal, like almost standing room only presentation, helping people get started with 3D printing, knowing kind of, what is the starting point? What are the essentials? What can I do with this wonderful tool in assistive technology? So I highly recommend you check that out if you're interested in 3D printing and wanting to know how to get started with it, or even just what is it good for when it comes to assistive technology. Please check that out. I went ahead and put the registration link for you in the chat. So that will be June 25th from 10 to 11 a.m. All right. And then last but not least, please call us, contact us. Let us know how we can help. So we have, of course, our email address. The best way to get a hold of us is aptat@rehab.alabama.gov. And you can also follow us on our social media. If you just search for Accessing Potential Through Assistive Technology under LinkedIn or Facebook, that will take you to us. You can also click on those links, and that should take you right to our pages. And then, of course, our YouTube link. And it looks like my additional links may not be active, so I will make sure I will make those active right after this webinar. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.